Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're giving you guys our final review of Lifeblood by Brand of Sacrifice. So we've listened to this album non-stop for a week straight, and I'm going to tell you guys that this album is amazing. Straight up, it's amazing. So, the singles that they released were pretty much all singles that didn't have the features. And all those songs are amazing, partly because I was a bit familiar with them already, so I was able to grow with them faster. But the songs, like, honestly, I can't really think of any song on this album that I just didn't like or wasn't into. The only one I can think of is Ruin, and not because it's bad, but because I couldn't really think of anything regarding it. Like, any other song, I can think of something about it that I really enjoyed. Ruin was just kind of there, but not in a bad sense. Like, it's not like that song came on and I disliked it. There was really nothing wrong with it. The beginning of Dawn, what did you think of the beginning and the outro of Dawn with that really weird, like, screechy sound effect?
I was fine with it. Because it was okay.
At first, and I don't think I mentioned this in our first impressions, or even to you during the listening session, but that kind of sound was annoying me a bit. But as it went, I didn't really mind it as much. Dawn is still a pretty cool song regardless. I like the content of the song.
Yeah.
So the intro, outro was just like, whatever. But the stretch of just like the rest of the album is just great. Because I was thinking, like, you know, in my notes, the stretch of Demon Came Through, Altered Eyes are incredible. But it's like, I think about that, Prophecy of the Falcon is also amazing. I love the breakdown in that song where he says, "We will never be equal." That's so sick. I love that. There's also like a sitar sound effect happening in there. And I don't think either of us even really noticed or even talked about it in either the listening session or the first impressions. But I was noticing that in a few songs. Another one that it's in is Foe of the Inhuman. And I thought that was really cool. That was another layer on this album. Because we noticed a lot of the, you know, the quote-unquote alien core-esque guitar motifs. We noticed the, you know, operatic stuff, all the kind of synthesized drum stuff. But not that. So that's just kind of another layer to this album.
Yeah, you mentioned Ruin as being a song that you really didn't have a lot to say about. I felt the same way about that song as well. It's not a bad song, but it's kind of just bottom of the pack as far as this album goes. But I also felt similar with Mortal Vessel. That was a song that I kind of just like, I like the song, I enjoy the song, but when it comes to things that like stand out or grab me, I was like, it really lacks a little bit. The flow of the album's really good, and I credit that to the fact that they put songs like Perfect World and Corridor of Dreams in, which are interlude tracks, but they do something that a lot of deathcore albums fail at, and that is breaking up the pace. Albums like this need that. Otherwise you get stuck in these zones where it feels like you're listening to the same song for 30 or 40 minutes. So that really helped. The intro track, Dawn, is also an interlude kind of track, but it's got more elements to it. It's more of a full song, just really short. Some standout tracks. Okay, let's talk about some standout tracks. All the singles are still excellent. Vengeance is a song that stands out to me because it's one of the only songs on the album, and I think we mentioned this in the first impressions. I can't remember if we mentioned it in the video or if we just talked about it amongst each other. I can't remember. But it's one of the only songs with the featured vocalist where the featured vocalist actually makes a real difference in the sound of the song. So you got Jamie Graham on this song, and the flavor he brings to it just makes it sound fresh. It makes it sound dynamic and different, which is something I really liked, and I kept gravitating towards that song. Just for that reason, the fact that it just sounded more fresh. The other vocalists have their flavor, they have their style, they have their flair. But as far as deathcore vocalists go, they're all just too similar to really make them stand out amongst each other. You can hear the differences are there, for sure. But it's still too similar. You get somebody like Jamie on the track, he's not quite that deathcore style of growl, so it makes the song sound different. It stands out, and I really, really like that. I was gravitating towards that a lot. So Vengeance is a good track.
Did you notice the bounce that I talked about last week in that song?
Didn't pay too much attention to a bounce.
Because the thing with that song is that it's not like constant barrage of machine guns in your face like a lot of the other tracks. Not to say that's a bad thing.
Yes.
It's a good thing. Like, the songs are great.
It's a little reeled in.
Vengeance, yeah, it does that. It's not as letting loose. There's no, like, crazy double kick all the time. Like, it's different in that sense, and I feel like it's got a bounce in that regard, and I loved that. That song I loved throughout the entire week. Loved it from our first impressions, and I still love it now. Amazing song. Interesting that Mortal Vessel was kind of like for you, because it was a little bit okay for me at first, but it grew on me quite a bit because of the guitar riffs. And I find in deathcore you tend to, get into like a chugging trance where there's no real melody to it. But in that song, there is a little bit of a melody to the guitar chugs going on, and I noticed that was a thing throughout this entire album. But on that song, it was decently noticeable, and I liked that a lot. There was one thing, and I know I didn't mention this in our first impressions, but a lot of these tracks slow down and then keep slowing down.
Yeah.
And I mentioned it to you during our listening session that it was getting a little bit stale for me, because it's like, oh, they're doing that again. Oh, they're doing that again.
Mm-hmm.
But as I listened to this album throughout the week, that didn't really bother me anymore. In fact, I actually quite liked it when it happened, and it was really cool every time. It didn't feel like it got stale. So I felt like perhaps that was just whatever, a first focused listening kind of issue.
Perhaps.
But as I listened to it throughout the week, like, I didn't have any issue with that at all.
Let's talk about something that was kind of what we thought was an actual issue with the mixing, and that was Altered Eyes. So we reacted to Altered Eyes music video, and there was a weird audio glitch where the song started off at this level, then right after that beginning opening riff, it just drops, like the decibels dropped or something.
Like the low end was kind of gone out of the EQ.
So we thought that was weird on our reaction, then when we did our first impressions and we heard it again. Throughout the week, I either became numb to it or they fixed it, because I started playing it going, I'm not hearing that drop like I heard before. So they either fixed it and re-uploaded the track and like nobody knew about it, or I just became numb to it and I just don't notice it anymore.
I think I just may have gotten used to it. Like, every time I put that song on, I wouldn't really pay attention to that as much as I would put the song on for looking forward to what's in the song, Like, I'd put that song on and not even pay mind to the fact that I knew that was a thing. I'd just be like, yeah, I want to hear that part again. I want to hear the synthesizer again. Yeah, this song's sick. Yeah. And I felt like that for so many of the songs. Like, I put this one on, yeah, put on Demon King. The scream at the beginning of Demon King is so awesome and so fitting for a song titled Demon King.
Speaking of Demon King, the vocals on that song are pretty impressive. There's, you got a lot of gurgly, pig squealy type of things going on. Basically, it feels like they're showing off the range or the talent of the vocals. But it's cool, and I'm also glad, again, that they don't do it in every single song. There's maybe one other song, I can't remember which one exactly, where they do so the gurgly gutturals with the, quote-unquote pig squealing type of effect in there as well. But they don't do it in every song, which is good. Some artists overdo things, and it's never a good thing to overdo things. One of the best things about this album, though, is the breakdowns.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta say that. Breakdowns go hand in hand with deathcore. We all know that. But Prophecy of the Falcon, I Am the Chosen One, bam, throw down.
See, that was the other one. That when the We Will Never Be Equal is sick, but then when he does that one, it's also sick.
And then my next favorite one is Foe of the Inhuman, I Will Make Them Beg for Mercy. Bam! Fuck that. Dude, give me more of that. That's fucking sick.
And another thing that's great about this album is the lyrics. So what you just said was awesome. There are some awesome lines going on in this album, and it sounds cool. You listen to it, but then when you understand what it's all based on, it gets even cooler.
Yeah.
Because it's all based on Berserk.
Yeah.
The band, all the lyrics, all of it's based on Berserk. So when you understand that, it gets even cooler.
Yeah, so I don't know. I enjoyed the album, but TV Fish, I think it's time to rate it. So what do you give Lifeblood?
Well, based on what we've been saying today, we've had both very glowing reviews of this album. I'm going to get straight to the point. It gets my toe tag. It was one of the easiest decisions for me to make for rating an album, because it's a really standout album amongst deathcore. I find deathcore is a very perhaps oversaturated genre nowadays for metal. So to have an album that stands out that much among the rest, that's how you know it's super special.
All right. Well, just to cut to the chase here, it's going to get my toe tag as well. But it wasn't that easy of a choice for me, I gotta be honest. I feel like this is a really good album. Obviously, it's a toe tag album, but it's just a toe tag album for me. They did just enough to squeeze it over that 7.5 mark. And it's because of reasons we talked about in this video. Adding those little synthy things, adding those little operatic parts, you know, doing those little things here and there, the interlude tracks to break up the pace. Those are the things I'm looking for to make this deathcore album stand out from most other deathcore albums, which are also really good and might get a 7 or 7.5, but this one edges out and gets that toe tag, but it was close. It was close. I was still looking for more things to really jump out at me and not seem so kind of pocketed, but it did enough. And it's an awesome, fantastic album.
Yep, regardless of how close that rating may have been from you, it still gets 2 toe tags from us. Congratulations to Brandis. Sacrifice Lifeblood is going on our 2 toe tags list. And that's all we got for you guys today. Remember to like the video if you liked it. Tell us in the comments below, what did you think of this album? It's been out for an entire week. A very anticipated album for this year. Remember to subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. And check out Slay Thy Name. Use code 2TOETAGS to get 15% off your entire order. I'm TV Fish.
And I'm Vile Self.
And we'll see you guys later.